Spooktober is a very special time of year for Team Fortress 2. And no, I'm not just saying that because it takes place during Halloween time. I mean more so because Spooktober has continuously brought TF2 some of its highest player counts year after year. Whether it's from the new cases, the ability to cast spells, or just bringing out your favorite Halloween restricted loadouts, something about Spooktober just always seems to bring back the players, both new and old. And in my opinion, one of the biggest factors to this would have to be the seasonal maps we get to play each year. The Spooktober maps are often spectacular and have brought us some of the most inventive, fun maps we've ever played. Because of this though, the competition each year for creators to get their maps into that rotation can be fierce, and oftentimes, some really great maps just don't make it in on time. And that's why today I'd like to showcase some of these maps and discuss why I think they'd be great to go into our next Spooktober event. So welcome to the third installment of Maps That Should Be in Team Fortress 2
Halloween Edition.
Synthetic. First off, we have Synthetic, a King of the Hill map competitive players may recognize as a reskin of the map Synthetic. Synthetic, however, takes place on the Sinclair Estate, a property once said to have belonged to a very wealthy family. Left to its final heir, Annabelle Sinclair was said to be a very interesting woman, conducting many experiments on the property involving bodies, magic, science, and machine parts. And one of her experiments you'll be sure to meet very soon. The map plays great as you'd imagine any former competitive map would, and within a few minutes, you'll be met with Synthetic's own custom boss, the Toastmaster, a towering robot that can chase you to just about any part of the map. If you have any hopes of wanting to win this round, you're going to want to make sure to take out the Toastmaster before he takes out you. Anyways, everything else about this map is great. The creators really went out of their way to make sure it fits the theme, with tons of custom designs, morbid backgrounds, and most terrifying of all, a bottle of piss within a bottle of piss. In my opinion though, this map should have been put in the game all the way back in 2019, and likely only wasn't because of entering a bit late. So here's to hoping that Synthetic will make it into the Halloween rotation soon. Undying. Created by Tanuki Suit 3 and Sir, This Is a Wendy's, Undying is an attack-defend map with an interesting twist. See, instead of just capturing each point like on a normal attack-defend map, on Undying, the blue team must also carry with them the head of Dracula to each point. The objective of the map is for the blue team to carry Dracula's head all the way to the last point, where they'll finally be able to help bring Dracula back to life. Regarding the setting though, this map seems to take place on some kind of industrial mining facility and gives off some really dark and dreary vibes. And better yet, the map only seems to get creepier the farther along it goes, decked out with spooky candles, caskets, and this giant bridge abyss towards the final point. And it plays great as well, with multiple flank routes and open space throughout the map. Honestly, one of my only complaints about this map was that it wasn't longer than 2 rounds because I was enjoying it so much. So in my opinion, Undying would make for a really fun hybrid style map Valve could add if they ever really wanted to shake things up a bit next Spooktober. Spillway. Created by Pont, Ibohars, and Yerzy, Spillway is a reskin of a popular map you may already know from creators.tf, Spillway. Taking place in some kind of mansion laboratory, this King of the Hill map comes with a lot of surprises. First off, if you capture the checkpoint, you'll want to stand pretty much anywhere but in between these 2 electric nodes in the middle, as doing so will get you microwaved into oblivion. Secondly, this map spawns custom health pumpkins, a nice change from the regularly ensured death that crit pumpkins deal you. And lastly, this map just seems to have so many different themes within it. You can literally fight from inside the spawn mansion, outside by these docks, down below in the brewery, or up above in the giant greenhouse. And as I'm sure many of you already know from testing out Spillway, the map plays great. All of this makes for a very fun and chaotic experience, so I can see that almost as no surprise if this map makes it into the Halloween rotation someday. Farmageddon. Now, of all the maps that didn't make it into last year's Halloween rotation, this one surprised me the most. Farmageddon is one of the most unique and fun event maps I've ever seen in TF2. Taking place on a haunted farm, the mission for both teams is to gather up canisters of weed killer and feed them to this giant monster pumpkin. The monster pumpkin sits still for most of the match, but on occasion will open up its mouth, revealing access to its heart. The team that delivers the most weed killer to the pumpkin's heart wins. Now this might sound simple enough, but that's not quite all. While fighting off the other team and collecting canisters, you'll also be visited by Farmageddon's very own custom monsters, the Scarecrow Minions. And you'll also want to make sure that you watch out where you're running, because I promise you, the giant tractor at mid is not your friend. Overall though, this map is just a ton of fun and incredibly well designed. There's even an unfriendly talking pumpkin and spawn you can talk to.
Were you the pumpkin inspector?
Anyways, I think Valve would have to be crazy not to add this in at some point, so I'd say keep your eye out for this map in the near to come future. Hell Train. A map needing almost no introduction, Hell Train has been a community favorite for years. Taking place on 2 joint moving trains, Hell Train is a capture the flag map like nothing you've ever seen. You see, while you and your team are busy trying to capture each other's briefcases, the true trains you're on are continually moving forward towards an interdimensional portal. Once the train reaches this portal, you'll be teleported into one of 5 different environments, whether that's underwater, over lava, between canyons, or somewhere else. You're in for quite the ride. Also, while going through these portals, a giant slot machine will appear above the trains, granting all players a unique ability for a limited time, such as random crits, speed boost, and other effects you may not have hoped for. But besides all that, the rooms inside the trains are pretty spacious, allowing for fun gameplay regardless of what crazy effects you might have, and they're all very well-themed rooms as well, keeping up this kind of spooky mansion vibe. Anyways, this map has been worked on for over a year and clearly hasn't got the love it deserved. So Valve, if you ever need an easy addition to the game, here's your map. And lastly, we have Dust Bowl. What? You don't think this is scary? What, an ancient map with ridiculous choke points? A 20-minute last round timer that Valve refuses to fix? Well, okay, maybe that's not quite that scary, but what if? That's right, introducing Dust Bowl Event. Redesigned by Mergus Troll, this is one of the best Halloween reskins I've ever seen. This was dropped last year, but somehow didn't make the cut, and it's probably just because a Halloween reskin was already picked out with Bloodwater, but that doesn't change the fact that this reskin is incredible. With some old English style themes, morbid backgrounds, and even a castle style last point, you'll be sure to love the views here while fighting off the enemy teams. And the map itself still plays exactly like Dust Bowl, only with a few minor Halloween surprises, like spooky ghosts traveling about, and 2 trap holes that you'll want to make sure that you don't accidentally fall into, or be air blasted into. But personally, I was really impressed by this map last year, and considering how much of a classic Dust Bowl is, I think it may only be a matter of time till this reskin is picked for rotation. And with that all being said, that about wraps up this 3rd episode of Maps That Should Be in Team Fortress 2. If you ever want to try out any of the maps from this video, maps from the last 2 episodes, or just some random crazy stuff I've thrown in over time, feel free to check out my Patreon, where you'll be given access to my own personal server for only $5. This is the server I generally use for collecting replays on and showing off new maps when I stream. All support you give goes to keeping this server up and supporting my work as a full-time YouTuber. Also, we just added Man vs. Machine to the server, so if you do decide to join, you can also bring along as many friends as you'd like and try out some custom MVM maps as well. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, until next time, this was Big Joey! Later.